Hi, I'm Andy Frazier, pastor of Grace Baptist Church in Summerton, Alabama, and I just wanted to take a few minutes to maybe give you some encouragement and some practical help in this time of uncertainty. We are facing something we've never had to face before, and in this time of unprecedented need and fear and panic, we as the leaders in God's church can give people hope. If you're pastoring a church or leading a church, you can not only be an example of this calm assurance that God has given us, but you can instill in the people God's called you to serve some great things. A truth from God's word in Psalm 46 is very simple. God is our refuge and strength. He's our very present help in our time of need. And though the earth moves and trembles and gives way and the mountains are thrown into the sea, we won't have to fear, God's word tells us. So we shouldn't fear a virus, but we can get a handle on things and help with some practical things. So I just wanted to mention to you that if God's called you to serve in the local church, even during this time, He is giving you everything you need to do that well as we can during this time of uncertainty. And I want to encourage you with a few practical things. Maybe you're doing some of these things and maybe you haven't even thought about some of these things. I want to ask you about three main areas. First, how are you ministering to your members, your families in your church? How are you caring for them during this time? You have options to be able to minister to your people without being face-to-face to them. The first is the most low-tech, easy option. Call your people. Get a ministry list of your membership and their contact information and start making calls. You and your staff and your deacons assign a certain number of people to a staff person and to a deacon and start calling people and checking on them. Give them a little hope. Share with them God's word and pray for them. Another thing to do is what I'm doing right now. Maybe record a video and post it to your website or your Facebook page or share it some way with your people. So communicate with your people a lot right now. They need to hear from you and give them hope. Give them God's word and give them assurance that everything's going to be okay. The second thing let me encourage you to think about is not only your ministry to the members, but also thinking about your gathering plans. What are you doing in the times where we aren't going to be able to meet in person? Have you thought through that? A lot of churches have postponed and are postponing services and canceling gatherings. So how are you handling that? Let me give you a few opportunities to minister to your people at this time. Number one, you can gather online. You can get people together and have a sense of community. You can record your services on video. You can email that service. You can record it on DVD and get that out to people. You can have a live stream of your service on a website or YouTube or Facebook. So you can get something very simple, a camera, and start a Facebook live feed of your service and share that with your people. You can go as low-tech as having a conference call, having somebody call people on the phone and them listen to the audio of that service so that they can feel involved and feel like they're part of that service. So think through that, and it can be as simple as a plan for your small groups as well. Each of your small group leaders could have a video call or a video chat with members in their small group so that there's ongoing encouragement and study and hope is being given to them during this time. The next thing I want to mention to you, along with ministering to your membership and families and having a plan for gathering, what is your financial plan during this time? A lot of people are questioning right now the giving options. My church and some other churches do not currently have an online electronic way to give. So here's some simple ways to take care of that. First, get in touch with somebody. You can reach out to me, and I know some people that will help you, who will help you establish an electronic and online presence so that people can click on a website or on an app and give to your church. Another avenue to be able to do that is get your people to designate a bill pay, electronic bill pay from their bank account to your church's bank account. Get in touch with your treasurer or your financial people, and they'll be able to fill you in on how to do that. Have an established time where people can simply come and drop their offerings off at the church. Have somebody present, a few people there so that there is a assuring presence that they're there, and let them come and drop their gifts off. Or you can go as old-fashioned as write a check and mail it. Put it in the mail. Give them your physical address or your P.O. box where they can mail those checks, because The financial uncertainty right now is really scary for a lot of churches, and we don't want people to think that they're not obligated to be stewards and to give during this time. So those are some things you can do to allow people to give, but let me encourage you also to think about some practical things. What is mission critical to the operating budget of your church right now? You can go around and you can be like dad at home, and you can turn off switches and you can unplug things. You can turn thermostats to optimal temperatures because people aren't occupying the buildings right now, and you can save a few bucks that way. I am bivocational, and our associate pastor, Kevin, here at our church is bivocational. Let me encourage you to think, if you have full-time staff members, give them some freedom and opportunity to maybe even have a side hustle during this time so that they don't have to squeeze their budgets tight at home, so that they can bless their families and not have to worry about making ends meet. So these are just things that you can think through: your membership plan, your gathering plan, and your financial plan. So if you don't have a plan, reach out to me and I'll be glad to help you with any of those things. The final thing I want you to think about is your faith plan. How will you help your people navigate during uncertain times? How are you going to point them to the gospel? How are we going to let these crazy times be utilized as a great witness to the lost and dying world? And how can we as Christians be examples of hope and steadfastness and faith in the Lord? So those are things that you can think of how you can be a witness and a help to your people and to the world around us.